Hey, John, how's it going?
Good. Yourself?
Doing great as well. It's been a minute since we spoke about your fractional offer, but today I want to learn a little bit more about your dedicated sales development teams so that users of the marketplace looking at this offer can decide whether they want to invite you for an interview for their needs or not. Like always, there's three questions I want to cover with you. So let's go with the first one, which is always who is the best fit for this dedicated SDR offer?
So the best fit is a company. First, we work with mainly B2B companies,
Mhm.
anywhere between 20 to 1,000 employees, but doesn't have to fit within that range. And so the dedicated offer is really a good fit for a company that may have a more complex sale, either a sales cycle or just understanding the product or service itself is a little bit more complex. Maybe they have a little bit of a smaller total addressable market. And so what the dedicated model allows you to do is we're dedicating an SDR who's backed by our team and our tools, which is all included in the service. And they're able to really dive into these accounts. And so not only are they making phone calls, but they're at your disposal to do any SDR activity necessary, whether it be commenting on LinkedIn, sending emails, doing stuff in your CRM, really any activity that is going to allow them to nurture accounts, build relationships, and ultimately set meetings for you and your team.
Got it. A couple days ago, you mentioned that in your fractional service, they get some one that may be working with other accounts, doing the outbound for you. It sounds like this one, where you get dedicated resources as a buyer, you get more flexibility, more versatility in case, yes, let's do the main outbound campaign, but maybe I have a trade show. Can you also help me gather attendees? Like there could be some level of flexibility there. Help me understand that, please.
100%. Yeah, so this is why we created this dedicated model is that our clients has this SDR working for them full time. So they get to know the nuances, they get to know how to navigate those conversations better, and really any requirement that the client has outside of the outbound efforts, anything they want this SDR to do, they can do, whether that's something internal that's unique to the company or any other SDR activity. Could be LinkedIn, custom emails, personalized emails, things like that to ultimately grab people's attention and set more meetings.
Fantastic. Now, you mentioned that the tools are all included. So that takes me to the second question. Walk me through the components of this service offer.
So what we're doing is you have a dedicated SDR, 100% focused on you, your company, but it's backed by our team and our tech stack, all included in the service. So to break down a little bit of the team included, you obviously have the dedicated SDR, but you have a customer success manager who's really your main point of contact, the one who can meet and discuss things overall with our clients and have those check-in calls and make sure everything's going smoothly. But
Mhm.
you also have an account manager who helps kind of act between the customer success manager and our data researchers, make sure we're finding the right contacts, companies, and ultimately valid contact information to use for the outbound campaigns.
Got
You
it.
have a data researcher who's working on uh, finding and validating contact information. Copywriter, the kind of self-explanatory. He is the one writing the messaging for the campaigns, and then an email deliverability team who's responsible for purchasing domains, setting up emails, email records, and ultimately making sure those emails are landing in the primary inbox.
Fantastic. So they get almost like five other professionals adding value to the team when they hire you for this service. You did mention also that the tools are included. Could you maybe unpack a little bit of the tools, dialers, databases that you guys use when someone hires you for the dedicated SDR team?
Yeah, certainly. So it all comes with our tech stack. So we use so much that we implement or at least can choose from depending on what the client needs. So certainly we have a dialer. We use a parallel dialer that also has the ability to be a power dialer, allows us to make multiple calls at the same time. Uh, we have email automation platform and a LinkedIn automation platform to send out those campaigns. We use Slack. So hopefully our clients are on Slack or Teams, and we set up a Connect so we have all the team there to be able to communicate efficiently. And then all of our data. So we pay for a lot of different contact databases, and then we also have other tools in the team, such as the data researcher, to go in and validate the accept alls, find the missing information, potentially pull some stuff that the contact database doesn't give us. So that's just an example of some of the tools we're including in our service.
Awesome. That is interesting because rather than just one source, like, I don't know, pulling the lead list from Sales Navigator, that data researcher that you mentioned is going to pull then from different lists, enhance the duplicate, maybe normalize the data. So there's a lot of value add when it comes to the leads that the program is going to be working with. Now, walk me through the onboarding process. If you can just show me what a client would get if they buy this service, how would those first 120 days look like from a deliverability standpoint, from a milestone standpoint, time to go live, time to expect some results? What can you share with me here?
Sure. So once we officially start with a client, we ask them to fill out an onboarding form that gives us some more information about the company, their offering, what makes them unique, their competitors, things like that. We set up an onboarding call to discuss not only just some normal setup items, but also to review that onboarding form and discuss strategy, the targeting, messaging, things like that. From that call to launch typically takes about 7 days. Now, could be shorter, could be longer. Ultimately, the month doesn't start with our client until we launch. During that time, after that call, we will go pull a sample list of contacts, share them with the client for review, write the messaging for across all channels so they can actually see that and approve it or add some comments. And then also talk to the rep, talk to the SDR, make sure they're filled in of any other things that is necessary about our client's product or service that they need to know, so they can talk with them as much as they want. We do training on our end. We have a cold call manager. We have others on the team that are helping and making sure they understand the product or the service. But anyways, that's what we're doing until launch. Now, once we launch, you should expect to see results within the first week or two. Now, we typically, who knows, we could see a meeting set the first day. It might take a week or two. We can't force people to pick up and be interested. But if they're not, then that's when we start making tweaks. So you give it a few weeks, and if we're not getting early traction, then that's when we'll start to make some adjustments. And of course, that's all discussed with our client, so they're on board too with the changes.
Got it. So it's a very quick setup, a 1 week. I noticed that you mentioned email deliverability. I remember from your fractional offer that when it comes to email, you're not only just getting an email account from your client to do the outbound, you create parallel domains or just set up new domains that look very similar to the original one, just so you do not hurt their brand, their domain, and you can increase the volume of activity on email. So this happens still during that first week, right? On the setup.
Yeah. So as a rule of thumb, you never want to be doing outreach from your primary domain. So we go purchase publicly available domains included in the offering. So we purchase those. They're all very similar to our client's primary domain. We set it up so they all forward to the company website. We will set up inboxes on those domains, either from the dedicated SDR or someone on the client's team. We'll set up this is what the email deliverability team's doing. We'll set up the email records, and we'll start a warm-up process, which will run for a few weeks until we ultimately launch.
Perfect. All right. Well, John, this has been very complete. Hopefully users of the CloudTools Marketplace looking at this service, if you feel this is for you, definitely go ahead and click set up an interview so that you can meet with John and learn based on your specific needs if they're a good fit for you or not. John, this has been very helpful. I think unless there's anything else you want to share with the audience, we should call it a wrap or let me know. Is there anything else you would like to share in terms of the service?
If you're interested in having any questions, happy to have a conversation to see if it's a fit.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So, John, thank you so much for sharing more details about your dedicated sales development teams. I'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks, Eddie.
Awesome. Bye bye.